Here we go! Hey, it's Todd Ault. It's Risk On with Jason Bartholomew. Skylar's in the house. Our producer Josh is here from Orange County area, Riverside area.
OC.
Well, not really. He's Southern Inland Empire. Traveled to Vegas for 2 days of meetings. It's the 60th episode of Risk On.
Snap out of it, dude.
I'm out of it.
All right.
Here we go.
Hit that again.
Here we go. It's
we
the 60th episode of Risk On. I'm Todd Ault. This is the 27th of April, April 27th. It is about 1:15 on the Pacific Coast. Getting started a little late.
What kind of news you got for us?
I got a bunch of things I want to cover. We're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about Elon Musk. It's no longer a car company. It sells credits, tax credits, and trades crypto.
Yes.
We're going to cover that. I was short, for full disclosure. I did cover it today, by the way. I was short Microsoft. We're going to talk about Microsoft earnings. I shorted them at 261 right into the close, 5 minutes before the close.
Easy money.
Boom, 10 points.
Easy money.
I was really actually 9.5. Why? Because I think things are too good right now.
For sure.
Sell the rumor. Sell the news, buy the rumor, right? We're going to cover when we're going to be interviewing the Naked Brand CEO.
No,
talking about
is that going to
today.
happen?
Yep, he is committed to an interview on this podcast.
What?
It's true.
There it is. Milton
I might even
Todd
get him
Ault
on
III
Autonomous.
coming through, baby.
But he has confirmed that he will be doing a podcast with us.
Oh, by the way, the Naked Army was asking me. They're like, he goes by Todd, right?
My friends call me Todd.
Absolutely.
You can call me Milton if you want to. And that was my grandfather. He was the first. My dad's the second. I'm the third. My dad was junior, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm adopted, so my name was changed. My original name was Todd. And when my father adopted me, he changed my name. We're going to talk about crypto. I think we had, after the close, Google earnings, which were fabulous.
Yeah, beat.
Microsoft had the best revenue top line ever, I think, since 2018,
That's
maybe
true.
for a while. We're going to cover that. What the market do? We're going to segment this a little bit like we're supposed to. Jason, why don't you get right to what the market did today?
The market was pretty boring today. The Dow was finished up 3 whole points to 33,984. The Nasdaq was down 48 to 14,090, and the S&P was down 0.9 of a point, 4186. At the time we came on air, Bitcoin was 54,940, and Ethereum was 2634.
Are you serious?
Bear with me 1 second. Yeah, I know.
Damn it.
I know. We had an idea. Todd had an idea last night, and looks like it was the right idea. So 54,940 divided by 2634. Wow. We've been talking about this every day now. So the Ethereum to Bitcoin ratio is now down to 20.85.
It's got to be pretty low.
20.85. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. Oil was $63.23, up $1.31 per barrel. Gold was $17.75. Silver $26.33. Copper $4.48. Copper's literally pennies away from the all-time high. I expect that to happen, in my humble opinion. And yeah, those are the indicators.
Thanks, Jason. Got about 2 minutes to cover some business here. We will be broadcasting from the Indy 500 Monday, the day after Labor Day. The day after the Indy 500 is a holiday, so we won't be broadcasting that day.
Oh, Memorial Day, right?
But I'm hoping that Friday we'll broadcast from the center grounds of the Indianapolis 500. We're working on that for sure. We're going to work diligently to get the CEO of Naked Brands on for sure. Do we have any, Josh, should we text give them about the text number real quick before we get started with the second segment? Later on in the show, we're going to talk about Google's earnings, Microsoft earnings. Wells Fargo's out today.
Yep.
If you can text 949, text MERCH, MERCH, MERCH to 949-799-1831 and enjoy a shirt we'll send you. Listen, this is important as a pain, but when you put in MERCH, it categorizes you under that number. If you're not into betting, you don't want to get the sports picks. If you want to get merch, you type in merch, you're on that list, and we'll send it to you directly. It seems to be working a lot better now that we have a community tax.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Hey, I wanted that one thing that wasn't on our radar. I wanted to cover. We didn't cover yesterday. I wanted to touch on GameStop a little bit and their at the market offering that's finished. I wanted to give you a little bit of the details on what they accomplished with that.
All right. So what's up next? Next segment is we're going to cover some individual stocks. We'll start off with let's see. We'll start off with Alphabet, I guess.
Sure.
Here, right?
Oh,
Well, that doesn't look like Alphabet to
I think
me.
it just got deleted by accident.
Did I make a mistake there?
Yeah, it's okay. It just got deleted.
Yeah.
No big deal.
How do we add that? What do I do?
We'll just go like this. And we can just go.
Oh, it's already in there. Excellent.
And boom.
Is it up in the aftermarket?
It is up.
Up
Yes.
$94, right?
Healthy.
So it's an interesting play. If you see this, Microsoft it was down 10,
Yep.
but you got up 94 on.
If you
All right, let's
wanna-
get started. Hey, I'm Todd Ault. For everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm executive chairman I'm executive chairman of Ault Global. Jason is a professional poker player. He is also a trader and a handicapper extraordinaire. Let's get right to
Here we
Google.
go.
So Google reported. Jason, why don't you cover what they reported?
So it looks like Q1 earnings from Alphabet, the parent company, top estimates amid advertising sales resurgence. Q1 revenue, excluding traffic acquisition costs, it looks like they beat $45.6 billion. The street was looking for $42.6 billion.
It's a big beat.
Yeah, that's a big beat. And it looks like GAAP earnings per share was a crusher. Look at that, $26.29 versus $15.64. That's Y over Y, year over year, for those of you that aren't familiar with that shortcut or abbreviation. It looks like all the FANG stocks are Alphabet shares posted the least impressive gain during 2020. So apparently, I mean, everybody is on.
During the first year, it looks like they're rocking.
Yeah, for sure.
Advertising, core advertising through search, YouTube exposure to market, travel, and other high. Wow.
Their
they're really-
advertising went up 32% in
Right.
revenue. So, yeah. I mean, I remember about 40 shows ago. In fact, when we start doing these rewinds, Mr. Producer Josh will be looking at this. I remember when you actually were, I think you alerted Google. Let me just make sure I get my
Tell you what,
facts
man,
right.
they've spent $9.5 billion on acquisitions.
Yeah, you alerted to go long on Google about 40 shows ago at about 2,000. I remember.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah,
it's been doing.
I just remember the 2,000 number.
It's been performing a lot better this year. Let's look at year to date. Year to date, it's up $564.85, and that doesn't include the almost $94 it's up in the aftermarket today. So if you're a Google shareholder, you got to be pleased with this. You guys are clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. I wonder what that earnings call is going to be like. It's interesting. You see the opposite happening with Microsoft, but they had stellar earnings for sure.
Yep.
Let's go to Naked Brands. This is a name that everyone likes to watch. Down 7.6 cents today. What was the volume like? Can you check?
Sure.
This is a volatile stock, to say the least here.
So 30% gainer roughly yesterday. Gave a little bit
Gave back 10% today.
Yeah, gave back a third.
It's up in the aftermarket to 67.
But considering the pressure on the market, with all the anxiety, with all the massive earnings releases, and then Jay Powell speaking tomorrow, I'm not disappointed in.
I don't know anything for sure, and I want to be clear with everyone. I don't know for sure, but I can tell you that it feels like to me, if I were to look at the narrative of the story, I think there's going to be a lot of news on this stock. I think the CEO and the company, they have a strategy that when they unveil it, they're going to really play out why they've done what they've done.
183.7 million volume during the traditional hours. That's about 15 million above average volume, 3-month average daily volume.
Year to date, they're still up 44 cents or 99. Wow. Is that true?
Yeah.
Holy Toledo.
Remember, it was like 6 cents or something. If I remember correctly.
They're up 199% on the year. 44. Is that right?
Yeah.
Holy Toledo. That thing has made a huge move. Holy Toledo, Batman
Just
is
trying
right.
to catch up with the chat a little bit here.
So the 1 month is pulled back. The 1 month is down 10 cents.
Richard, thanks for the super chat, buddy. I appreciate
No,
it.
if you're me and you're analyzing the stock and you look at the 1 month and you see how many shares they've issued to raise that kind of cash, you got to feel good that it's even holding up here.
For sure.
I mean, look at this 44 cents. Look at the 1 month. It's down 10 cents.
Yeah, but look at all the cash they have.
Yeah, I mean, I would look at this and be, I guess, we should be a little bullish that it's holding in there. Right?
And then the capital from Bendon, the shareholders agreed.
Yep, that's amazing. Obviously, we can't comment on our position, but we do see why this thing is holding in there pretty strong. Let's go to CleanSpark. By the way, we're going to take viewer questions in section number 3. So if you're around for section number 3, that's in about 20 minutes. We're going to take viewer questions.
Sparky had Sparky delivered at the HC Wainwright cryptocurrency blockchain
I don't mind
conference.
calling them Wainwright. That's fine with me. I'm not a fan.
You're not a fan of them?
I'm not
I like that.
jumping up
I
for
that was a like a
HC
slip.
Wainwright.
Wainwright. They were there with Riot and Mara. They were in the house. The blockchain.
They're not
and
a bad
fintech.
firm. They do a lot of deals.
Yeah, but I think the
I didn't do that. I didn't do that on purpose.
Sparky's got a presentation on their website. You know, I'm very bullish on CleanSpark. It's not just a crypto play. They have microgrids, solar. They're trying to get their carbon footprint really, really low and their cost of mining really low. That's their whole goal. So you can take a look at their. If you go to their website, they have a new presentation on there.
Hey, if you want to follow CleanSpark, go to their website. Check out their new presentation. For full disclosure, we cut our position back here. And that's just because we don't know what we're doing with crypto. We're going to be honest with you right now. We have Jason and I have a conflict, and the conflict is that I believe the market's semi-top for a short period of time. Mm-hmm. You can kind of see that thesis play itself out with Tesla. I was short that on great news.
Yeah.
I was short Microsoft on great news. Thank God I didn't short Google, although I thought about it.
Whoa! You know they're doing a buyback.
Who?
Google, $50 billion.
Yeah. Thank
50
God I didn't short that stuff.
Billion.
But I think that this is all baked in the cake, and the news is coming out, and no one's going to care that it's going to get old.
Wow.
Let's go to Tesla real quick. Everyone knows I shorted it. If you followed the show yesterday, at $738. I also wrote the 747 and a half calls that expire this Friday. I covered them back today.
Yep.
For how much? I sold them for 23. What do you think I paid for those calls today?
No idea.
$2.50.
That's it.
$2.50.
Oh my God.
So I actually bought a little bit of Tesla in the hole today after I covered the calls.
Wow.
So I'm long a little bit. You know, Tesla's a fan stock. It's not going away. They had great earnings. In the next segment, we're going to cover what people are saying about Tesla and why it may be an issue. But for this run-up, I think year-to-date, and let's look at this together. Let's go back to this chart. Year-to-date, look what Tesla's done. Down $25 year-to-date, right? But if you go to the one-year chart, what's it done last year? It's up 550. What do you have? Down 25 or up 550?
Wait, it's up 550 since that forward split.
It's up $550 in the last year.
Okay, so they did a 4 or 5 to 1, remember?
5 for 1, yeah.
5 for 1? Okay. Yeah,
What do
that
you think of
makes
that?
sense. Wow, that's crazy.
And year-to-date, it's down.
Okay.
The last 6 months, still up 298. Last month, up 93. Last 5 days, up 40 cents. Last day, down 33. I would hate to look what the 5-year looks like. Well, only up 656.
I'm still digesting the fact
max
that
chart is up 700. When it went public, that doesn't make any sense to me. It's higher than its actual
No,
price.
that's-
Oh no! Split adjusted, that's $4.
Right.
That's the max. Yeah.
Right.
Wow, that's an amazing run. Anyways, let's get off of Tesla and go to ammo.
The most disappointing ticker in our port right now. Well,
Down 26.
yeah, I mean, we're just waiting on news. It's getting to be frustrating. If it doesn't
Well,
announce
you guys know we're long this stock. I'm very frustrated.
if it
with
doesn't announce tomorrow, which is Wednesday, that gives them one more day in my opinion.
To me, you announced an LOI before you announced an offering. You did an offering. You raised money. No LOI, right?
Yeah. February LOI, March offering.
Right, yeah.
April it's supposed to be news.
Coming up on May.
It's almost
All I can
May.
say to you is credibility is waning there with that offering.
You got a huge backlog.
I got a big backlog. Although I'm hearing some ancillary rumors. Let me read you. Oh, I'm going to cover that in the next segment. Okay,
All right.
we only have 1 minute to get to
that's
that
fine.
next segment. I want to cover the pro shares, the ETFs.
Here we go.
We're long those. Is or win those.
We're long to be short, guys and gals.
We're long to be short. These are triple weighted. The
And
S&P,
diamonds.
we are not short. We're
Okay.
short the diamonds. That's fine.
Yeah.
Freeport McMoran, we bought back in today on
We
a
added
pullback.
some, right?
Yep, we did.
Okay.
United Parcel Service.
Yeah. Huge earnings
What else
beat.
can you say, by the way?
Massive earnings beat on the massive what can Brown do for you logistic company who's been around forever. My first job
Full
after
disclosure, you work for them, right?
my first job out of professional baseball was an operations manager for UPS, and actually I did some industrial engineering time studies for them too for their drivers. They smashed
UPS earnings soar, weren't supposed to be this way. Good. The stock is soaring. Profits came in at $2.77 a share from $22.7 billion in sales. Wall Street
they
Wall Street
crushed
was
it.
looking for $1.72 on sales of $20.6 billion. So they killed it.
It's up 10% today.
Lions Group, this is another one of Jason's eclectic. It's 2 a.m. Please buy some stock.
Yep, they have they actually have a crypto brokerage in Dubai, and they mine crypto.
This chart looks bad, the 1 month, but the 5-day looks pretty good.
It's still undervalued.
You
in
might
my
be on
opinion.
something.
Yeah,
We're not long there for full disclosure.
that and Ebon, two targets for myself. Just
We're
me.
not long those stocks.
We're not long.
No. Last one here, and then we go to the next segment. Microsoft down to 254. We covered at 252. We got to be good about that, right?
Yeah, they
That's
want us
probably
to
gonna
cover
go
this,
up in
so-
sympathy with Google.
Yeah, for sure.
Google might lift the whole boat. I mean, it might lift everything, right?
Jason, hit me up on Telegram. Professional Advantage Player Talk.
Google's earnings
okay,
are just
okay. I got
remarkable. Where do I find why I look for it? You had pulled the story up here,
Which one are we looking for?
the Tesla story.
I had there was like an article on Zero Hedge, which is kind of fodder. Yeah, you'll have to search it. But down below there should be yeah, what do we got here?
So
Yeah.
this is it. Oh, why are they doing that to me?
Can you cover Oh, that's the paywall. Teddy wants to cover the Microsoft earnings. Yes, we can do that. We can definitely do that.
Yeah, I want to cover the. So if you go real quickly to this this text here, let's pull it up on the screen here real quick, Nick. So Tesla gross margins this quarter adjusted for and relaunch costs, all credits, leasing are 23%. Pretty awesome. It tells you what to expect in terms of trajectory the rest of the year. How much Tesla's. The concern with Tesla is they excluding income from regulatory credits. They had sold around $500 million worth of regulatory credits. Do you know where that? I want to find that for everybody real quickly here. They had a great quarter, and they can't complain about that.
I know what you're getting at, and I remember seeing that. And I know what you're saying is basically they should stop being an automaker and start being a brokerage. Or
Well, I mean, effectively they have to make they have to make cars in order to sell those regulatory credits. So
right.
let's try to cover.
Like for example, Tesla made $100 million in 1 month of trading crypto. That's more than it's ever made selling cars in 14 years.
Right.
That's from Zero Hedge, excluding regulatory credits. Zero Hedge trolling them. It says it should shut down all money-losing ventures and become a full-time trading desk.
Yeah,
That's what you're getting at. Of
No,
course,
I
that's
am getting to that. But
tongue in cheek, obviously.
It's absolutely absurd.
Yeah, of course.
But if you're a Tesla shareholder, what credit do you give the automotive operations made money from selling carbon credits that they get for the fact that they are a large EV producer?
Yes.
And other companies need those carbon credits.
solar.
Right. So they get money for that.
Yeah,
But they also traded Bitcoin.
they did.
And In their defense, if you put $1.2 billion into Bitcoin
And you sold half at.
and it doubled, no, you didn't sell half. It doubled.
What did they sell? A quarter?
They only sold 300 million worth.
What did they buy? 1.5?
The 1.2.
1.2. So 25%.
$2.4 billion. They sell 300 million. It adds $100 million to their line. Here's the issue. I'm going to cover something very arcane with you. And the way they hold the asset is they hold it as not a tradable asset. So it's basically considered not a mark-to-market security. It's almost like a fiat currency. So if they have 1.2 billion in Bitcoin, even if it grows to 2.2 billion in Bitcoin, they don't get to mark it up. So in order for them to take a markup, they have to sell it, right?
Yep.
So they sold some, took a markup of 100 million.
Right.
But they also, that means to me they have some earnings in reserve. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but they have largely made money this quarter off of credits and Bitcoin. But I'll tell you, does it really matter? They're still delivering tons of vehicles. I think it was 187,000. I mean, what's your take on this right now? I think they're growing into how big they have become.
Well, they're still losing money, though, on vehicles. I mean, I don't know the
Their
number.
margins are decent.
Actually, you know what? The opinion actually gives... Oh, I don't know if this is true or not. The opinion does a lot of due diligence. I trust his opinion. That's hence the name. He says
This OK Freeman guy.
yeah, we'll get to him.
What?
But Tesla said... the opinion says that Tesla's losing $1,800 per vehicle. I cannot confirm or deny that.
Yeah, we can't confirm that, but we're not suggesting the opinion is not correct. And I hope I'm saying it right. OK Freeman.
Okie Freeman.
OK Freeman. If Bitcoin goes to 15,000, it's a nightmare for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is I mean, Mark Saylor, the Saylor guy from MicroStrategy and others, they put this on their balance sheet, and they're not marking it to the market. So you could argue that you have to engage whether there's an impairment charge. If the asset went from 50,000 to 15, I would suspect there'd be an impairment charge, and that would whack them for the quarter, right?
I mean, what are they doing with this? Are they putting it in cold storage?
Hey, what I read was that they are expecting that more people are going to be paying in Bitcoin,
Right.
And therefore their Bitcoin inventory would be going higher,
Yeah, that makes sense.
right?
Totally
so
makes sense.
So they sold off some in anticipation they'd get more.
So you can see them liquidating a good a percentage if the increased sales of Tesla are via Bitcoin. You're going to see them doing more transactions as far as liquidating some positions in order to...
The opinion's correct. If you
Yeah.
sold 10%, though, you sold 10% and you bought it for 1.2 billion, and it was now worth 2.4 billion.
Yeah.
10% would be $250 million, give or take. And I'm with you. The opinion. I'm not getting specific in terms of exactly what it is. But there's where I am with Tesla, and that is, I think they have to grow into their market cap now. I think everyone has priced them to perfection, kind of trees grow to the sky kind of thing. And hey, I'm along a little Tesla. I think it's going to be a great trading stock.
Let's hit...
But I'm not bullish.
Let's hit them with the Microsoft revenue real quick.
Let me cover Microsoft in this segment 2. We are going to cover stocks, individual stocks, and I want to cover MSFT. For full disclosure, we came into the market short. We covered at 252. Microsoft is 253.31.
Hey, go to...
let's book the...
yeah, that's a good article right there.
Let's book this here. Let's
There
pull it
you
up
go.
on the screen. Microsoft books its biggest revenue growth since 2018. They exceeded estimates and analysts' top line and bottom line. Windows revenue growth for devices was higher than the company had predicted. Azure, which is an important part, growth was flat. Now that, to me, is why the stock is down. That is their cloud initiative,
Yeah.
and Azure's down.
Yep.
Do you want to cover anything about this?
I mean, they're going against Amazon Web Services, which grew probably... Actually, I know it grew 50% fast. Looks like Amazon AWS grew 50% faster than the 46% growth that analysts had expected, according to a CNBC review of 14 equity research notes. So you're taking on the beast.
Yeah,
What
well,
do you-
but you got to think of there's two things that's happening with cloud services. One is the overall pie is getting bigger, and two is okay. I apologize. There's two things happening with cloud services. The overall pie is getting bigger, and the dominant part of the share of Amazon is going to go down naturally. They're still, but they're let's say Amazon's 50% of a larger pool. The pool may double, and they're 30%, but still have a larger pool, right? So
Yeah.
there's a lot of room for Microsoft. The fact that its growth was flat That's probably going to be the story.
Read that the last sentence there? Can you see that?
Microsoft did not disclose Azure's revenue in dollars.
I don't know why.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hey, earnings per share was $1.95 adjusted versus $1.78 as expected by analysts, according to what is that called now? I don't know what that is.
Oh, Refinitiv.
Whatever. Who the hell's that?
It's just like a third party.
I never heard of
analyst.
Revenues were $41.7 billion versus $41.3 billion, as expected by analysts. The software hard maker posted a 19% annualized revenue growth for the quarter, which ended March 31st. The biggest quarterly increase in the company since 2018 is part of the gain in PC sales resulting from coronavirus and driven shortages last year. Yeah, it was a good number. I mean, I think that analysts are probably disappointed with the Azure number. I mean, that's probably what's going on there.
Yeah, they nailed a couple of. They got a couple Army contracts. It looks like they're. It looks like the computing unit was pretty solid, 19% gain. I mean, there's not much not to like here. I mean, except for the cloud services, everything else was great. I mean, I look at the price now around What is it at? 250?
At 253.
Yeah, let's see what happens after Powell. Let's see what happens after this week, which is very volatile. And let's see where Microsoft lands, say, next Monday. This could be a target for a long position, in my opinion.
Let's go to Google again. They're $108 in the aftermarket, up 20 to $2,415.16, up 4.
It's up 4.68%. We got the big chart on the back here.
Wow, that was weird. It was bright. Up 4.6%. Let's cover the news in terms of. You want to read this, Jason? Get into it.
Did we cover this already?
Not really. I don't think so. Did we? If we do, I just had Alzheimer's.
Yeah, I think we did, but it's okay.
What?
You just had Alzheimer's.
Well, analysts, Alphabet beats first quarter earnings.
Yeah, we covered it.
The
We
stock
talked about
rose
the
4%
ads.
in the aftermarket. That's a big number. And YouTube's ad revenue grew 50% year over year. I don't remember covering that. Did I cover that already?
No.
I know we touched on this.
We might have touched on it, but this is the section where we're supposed to cover it.
But it's a monster. I mean, it's Google.
It's crazy. Did we cover what we wanted to cover?
Pretty much, except for what our plan is going into tomorrow. If we're gonna disconnect here from the market and go into like some other ventures, politics.
Now let's cover tomorrow.
Let's talk about it.
The big numbers, and I think I don't know, was it after the close or before? Tomorrow, you've got applesauce.
Apple
What
Book.
is wrong with me, man? I don't know I need some caffeine.
Huge day tomorrow.
Wow, applesauce.
One of our long
We had
positions
an early
reports.
morning meeting.
Yeah.
You know, people flew in from all over the country. Early morning meeting for all global, and I'm really beat a little bit. Let's cover this tomorrow. We got Apple, Facebook, Qualcomm, Boeing. We're long Boeing for full disclosure. Shopify, Sony, ServiceNow, Glaxo, Schneider Electric. That's the annual meeting. CME, HCA. Anything on there that's important to you? Cigna. That's the annual meeting.
I want to see
Apple. Apple's gonna. That's
yeah,
gonna
of
be an
course.
important number, right?
I want to see Apple. I want to see Boeing, obviously. I want to see Shopify also.
Right.
Those are the three that I'm looking at.
Right. Let's go to the next segment, which is we talked about. We're going to talk to answer investors' questions, right?
Sure, let's get into it.
You ready?
Before we,
We got to change it. It's kind of quiet in here.
here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. All right, what do we got here, Josh? Let's open up the questions.
Let's see some questions.
What are we going to cover? I want to be.
Oh, by the
ready.
way, I got those 7 questions from Anna from the Naked Army.
Oh yeah, Anna, thank you so much for those.
We've given
questions.
those to Josh, and we are ready.
We are formatting those questions.
Yeah, for sure.
What symbols do we have out there people want to talk about? The opinion. How do you feel about BlackRock buying Bitcoin futures? Any idea if they're long or short?
I do not know the
I don't
answer
have
to
any
that,
idea, buddy, but we appreciate the question.
but I can research it and find out. Talk about it tomorrow.
BlackRock buy them. They're the biggest asset manager in the world. Where are they putting them?
Yeah.
Do we think we're headed for a broader correction? You know, I know that Kramer's against what my thoughts are here. I don't know if it's going to be some sort of 10 or 15% move down, but it doesn't feel like to me there's a reason to go up.
What's the
Do you
reason?
have a reason to go up?
Okay,
I mean,
short term,
are you
yes,
ready for
yes.
There's this new exciting thing called the government's going to issue stimulus checks. Oh, is
Dude,
that exciting?
How
to you?
much more can they print?
Right. Okay. Things. All the currency ever produced in the history of the country has been made. 40% of it in the last year.
That's insanity.
So how do you feel? Is that's good news?
That's my case for commodities. That's my case for crypto.
Sure.
Silver, gold, copper,
Right.
lumber, soybeans. I mean, all kinds of commodities. Inflation's coming in for sure. I don't care what they say.
Biden wants to spend more $1 trillion on infrastructure.
He wants to spend a trillion's the new billion.
But $1 trillion became the new billion.
It is.
Skylar, do you remember a time when you were growing up that $1 trillion was a big number?
Yeah.
Skylar, do you know what comes after trillion? Does anyone here know?
Anyone? Do you know what comes after $1 trillion, Skylar?
No,
Because
I
I don't
actually-
actually.
Nick does. He's
Don't.
getting ready to say it. Starts with a Q, right, Nick? Quadrillion.
Quadrillion.
Will we get there? Unfunded liabilities of 10 quadrillion.
So let's go back to the positive reasons why the market should go higher.
Okay, let's try
Unlimited stimulus.
Let's make a case for it.
Well, the masks are coming off.
Okay.
Do you think anybody knows that there's reopening trades? I mean,
That's baked in.
ask yourself, do you have cutting information on the fact that a restaurant's going to open or Landry Seafood's going to reopen or that people are going to start going to malls again?
I thought malls were a dying breed anyway.
But that's my point
Yeah.
is that there is no cutting edge news right now, in my opinion. Nothing. I don't see it.
No.
And I'm not positive. I'm positive on ammunition because of a specific story. So this is my point about this. If you don't have a reason what's wrong with me? If you don't have a reason why you are long something, if you don't understand a specific reason why your stock is unique to the market, 80% of all stock moves happen with the market going in that direction. So the reality is that, I mean, how about you today? Today's only Tuesday.
Right.
But I woke up Monday going, it's really calm. I came into Tuesday, it's really calm.
But
But there's nothing happening.
tomorrow, we're going to
Apple?
see. But then, you know, Powell has to speak. What can he do? He's boxed into a corner. He can't raise rates. What are they going to do? Raise the rates even a quarter? You know what that does to the interest on the overall debt? I mean, the payments, it's ballooned exponentially. You can't raise rates right now. It's not a strong economy, in my opinion. We're still trying to come out of this pandemic. You have underlying issues where it's political. People want to wear 30 masks. People don't want to live their lives. You've got both sides of the aisle. They're fighting. You got infrastructure. They want to get a deal done. Biden wants $2 trillion. Moderate Democrats and Republicans want, $800 billion. So they're trying to land on a number there.
Do you know this Castor?
Yes, I do.
Castor Maritime.
I've traded it many times.
Armada's saying he's not happy with it. So is it CTRM?
They
Is that what
did
he's
it.
saying?
They did an offering at like 75 cents or something.
How much did they raise?
Like heaps. I just remember it tanked 46 cents. Let me
Is
see.
heap an actual measurement?
It was a ton.
Is a heap load?
It was like 125 million shares.
Right.
Armada, give me some feedback on
Armada's not. He says he's pretty bummed about CTRM. I got that one so wrong. Would I like to talk about
this.
how it plays itself out? I mean, they just raised a bunch of money, right?
They did buy one vessel. I forget it's cap. I forget what size it was.
Isn't this the nature of these?
Of course.
These things. I've never seen anything like it.
Never hold Greek shippers.
Greek shippers.
Never.
What is it? Beware of Greeks giving
Never.
gifts.
Listen to me. Drys, DRYS, gone. Top ships diluted themselves into oblivion, dead. What else do we have? We got CTRM, terrible. SHIP, dilution. EDRY. I mean, I know them all.
You're making him feel better right now.
I mean, just never hold Greek shippers. Just live by that rule. You can trade. You can scalp them.
Hey guys, I set up for ROS promo code on my store for you. Let's chat
that's
later.
the third.
Yeah.
Oh.
Risk on Sports.
Oh, looks like he's going to offer the chat and subscribers and such opportunity to save money on technology
we have
products.
to talk. Listen, the one thing I want to do is add value to the show.
That is one.
I will tell you right now, I'm looking at a dealer for laptops and tech electronics, and his prices are really compelling. They're real stuff. It's real Dell. It's real Cisco. And I want to set up an opportunity for us to send traffic to his company.
We need to pin his his link, I guess, somehow.
Yeah. Well, Hey, Josh, can we try to figure out how to do that? The third. Hey, we're working on that for sure.
Yeah, they got great product, great prices, for sure.
Yes. Explain, please. Setting sell limits drag prices down.
Setting
I
sell
don't know
limits
what
drive
this person's
prices.
referring to. I think they're asking if setting sell limits drag prices down. Use like an automatic stop or something like that.
Oh, are you talking about putting walls up, Ismail? Like you look at a level 2 and you'll see, you might look for an entry on a scalp or a day trade, and you're looking at the tape, and then you're looking at, time and sales. Obviously, you're looking at level 2, and you see like $1 stock, and then you see like it's at $1.80, and then you see some like 80,000 share wall at $1.99 or something, and it kind of discourages you from entering the stock. Is that what you're talking about?
Armada, while we're looking at the chart on CTRM, what I would say to you is that there's probably a pretty big demand globally for shipments now, and they're betting on that. So you probably have, I don't know how much you have into it. I'm not giving you really trading advice, but my suspicion is you're going to probably see some good news out of them before you see bad news. Now, I hate to use that word, but they'll probably, I don't want to use the P word.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But they're going to probably come out with great news about the fact they raised all that capital,
right,
how they deployed it, and how it's changing their business.
Right.
So Armada probably has a trade here. I just don't know how much he put on and at what price. But if I owned it right now, I'd be betting that they're going to come out with news. This is the same thing that kind of happened to us with Torch, right? It got torched down to $1.30. But the reality was we knew they had just did a deal.
Right.
And they were preparing for a deal. So sometimes the market can over-exaggerate, it overshoot to the downside. We definitely know it overshoots to the upside, right? We know that stocks go, there's a phrase, and listen, I've been doing this for 32 years, so I don't know where I heard it. I assure you it's not my statement, but I adopt it as my own, and that is, stocks will go higher than you ever thought possible and lower than you ever thought imaginable. And so if you have that philosophy that stocks don't have memories, you have to look at it almost every day and relative to your entire portfolio. This is I don't know. Let's be honest. Has that been a concept for you with the portfolio we manage? Because the reality is you can think about what you paid, but it's not relevant the next day. It's only relevant to how it's affecting your whole portfolio and whether you believe that what you bought is a reasonable price. Or do you pay a lot of attention to what you paid?
I'm kind of a stickler for entry points. But with the portfolio, with what we're doing, it's a lot harder to do that because we're trying to get size into trades.
Sure.
So on a personal note, like if I'm trying to just get entry into a stock for a swing trade or a day trade, I have hotkey for 1,000 shares, depending on the stock price. But with the portfolio, you can't just sit there and just post up a floor. I guess you could. You could just put 100,000 share bid at like $5.
Well, we trade in the small cap world, but sometimes we're a big whale in a small cap world.
So you can't help but you have to slap the ask, if you will,
sure,
in order to get get size,
right?
Unless you're really patient and want to build a position in like a commodity, like a silver or gold miner. Like for example, just to give you guys an example, I'm looking at GOLD after May 5th. They have earnings. I'm looking to go long in GOLD, Barrick Gold, next to Newmont. The thing's a monster, the second largest beast of all. GOLD, it's around $22 a share. I've got a target of $30 a share. It trades really well, very liquid. I'm looking to build a position into GOLD after May 5th. So in that case, we can kind of take our time and decide what we want to pay for that. We can post up a nice floor at, let's say, $22 and wait to get filled over a few days. It's not that volatile. There's not a whole lot of movement there. It moves with spot. It does pay a dividend. That's something I want to hold long term, kind of like your Boeing. And another one is the FCX, the copper play. So in the large cap world, it's a different animal. In the small cap world, where the thing's moving like crazy, you kind of got to get in there when you can get in there.
Ravi always comes up with some interesting names. We looked at this before. The last 6 months, the stock is up. Let's pull this up on the screen. Evolving Systems, EVOL.
Never seen it.
I thought we looked at this before.
I'm evolving right now.
Oh. The long-term trend's in the right direction. I'll tell you, the 1 year.
Ravi, I really appreciate the tips.
Ravi
tickers.
comes up with a lot of tickers.
Let me add this to my...
Robbie, we'll look at that. It looks like to me, haven't we looked at this before? Isn't this a 3G play or a 5G play? I mean,
Ravi, 9 million float.
Wow, look at
29
this
million
thing.
market cap. Let's take a look at this.
that got $28 million business.
EVOL is a provider of software solutions for service enablement, on-device activation, and management of services for connected devices for network operators. Yeah, it seems like that's exactly what it is.
$29 million market cap.
It looks
I'm
like
kind of interested myself.
okay, inverted hammer on the daily, RSI 42 on the daily. Ravi, we might have a swing trade here. This is just my opinion. I'm not recommending it here. Volume was very low, Ravi. 144K today. Volume's been pretty low. Earnings coming out. Let's see. Don't know. Ravi, this is something I'm going to look into.
Yeah, we'll look at this one.
Yeah, for
EVOL.
sure.
Todd, are you bullish on GE? Oh, boy.
GE had earnings today, right? How did we not cover that?
They did.
That's my fault. I should have covered this.
8 cents. Didn't matter, right?
Yeah. Looks like they lower sales, loss on restructuring moves. You know, they made the big move with the
I think the
turbine.
key here is, and I guess I'm still long-term bullish, is they reaffirmed their outlook for 2020. They had a smaller cash flow report. I think that's the concern here. They reaffirmed their full-year guidance for cash flow and earnings per share, but disappointed investors who were expecting to upgrade in line with the forecasts. Larry Culp said in an interview the company would update once they had a better idea of the aviation business and how it would perform the remainder of the year.
GE's kind of blah to me. I don't see a lot of variance there, a lot of volatility. I don't see a lot of upside there.
GE shares, which have gained more than 145% since last May, were down 1.9%. It was a blah move.
Yeah.
Cash flow was $845 million in the quarter, smaller than what estimates were for $1.3 billion. I think that was a downer compared with $2.2 billion in outflows last year. So the bleeding has stopped from a cash flow basis.
Right.
First quarter tends to be the slowest period for the company. Cash flow also took $800 million hit, elimination of factoring, a practice which the company sells invoices to intermediaries, agents to improve its short-term cash needs. GE expects a similar year-on-year improvement of cash flow from the current quarter. I'm still a believer it's going to turn around. The company's confident it could generate $2.5 to $4.5 billion in cash flow this year, but jet engine business remains an important swing factor.
Okay.
The jet engine business is usually a cash cow for GE and is still reeling from the plunge of the global air market. It's a turnaround play. It's an opening for that. So there you go. Hey, let's get to the next segment. I know we're a little off here, but we're gonna ruin it if we don't. Let's appreciate all the viewer questions. Let's go to the political side. The favorite thing I have to talk about, which is what's going on in the economy, what's going on with the politicians, and the I saw yesterday that we're going to be able to take off our masks and we're outside now.
So you mean I'm not going to see drivers with their windows up driving around town like with their masks on, like by themselves, not an Uber driver, but just a random person?
Skylar, are you going to get vaccinated?
No,
No?
no, not at least for a while. I want to wait and eventually I would like to have kids before I get the vaccine, and that's like 10 years from now. But I don't know. I just don't know the effects it's going to have on my body. So.
What, you mean the messenger RNA? How
Yeah,
it can be manipulated? Yeah, I don't know
not
much
getting
about that.
for a while, and
I'm worried I might grow a third nipple. Never know. I got 2 vaccines, so something, who knows what happened. I did not feel well after that. I heard a lot of people, Skyla, got the first vaccine, but millions have not gotten the second vaccine.
What's the point?
I don't know. I got the second vaccine, didn't feel well for 2 days, but I'm glad I got it.
yeah.
The outdoor masks. When I
Let's
look
get
at
to the
that,
political stuff. I know there's a lot to cover. Let's talk about Gavin Newsom. You had a lot of stuff on your mind. Let's go.
well, the outdoor masks are just sheep.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. You know my position.
Okay.
Let's go. Let's go. New poll finds 77% of Americans, keyword, support voter ID.
I want to talk to you about what happened in Georgia. Wow. In Georgia.
Yeah.
You know, in Georgia, the government is going to require. I want you to understand. Be careful.
Okay.
This is going to blow your mind.
I'm ready.
The government's going to require in Georgia that you have an actual ID to vote.
You don't say. You mean like the ID that I have to show at the airport, or to like cash out a certain amount of chips at the casino, or to use my social services stuff like EBT, or not that I use that, but you know what I mean.
My friends that are African American are saying the people that are against this idea are acting as if African Americans can't get an ID.
That would be a racist premise in itself,
Sure.
to assume that someone cannot obtain a free ID.
Do you think that people should have an ID if they want to vote?
I definitely do.
I mean, I'm trying to get onto the World Poker Tour right now, and I have IDs, I have bills, slips, where I live, etc. They still haven't let me on. They won't let me gamble because I moved to Nevada. I'm a new guy in Nevada because my addresses don't match, and they're making me provide a ton of IDs to make sure. What's up?
Who's drinking? Oh, an ID to drink?
Oh, right.
It's not even like that. So I'm trying to go into one of my friend's communities who lives in a nice house. Not mention any names, Todd. So I'm at the guard shack, and this lady comes out and says, hey,
Janelle?
I need your ID. I need your ID to get into this community.
And your license plate, and they write everything down.
I'm like, what is that like?
Skyla, I know on the Strip, they just let you drink unlimitedly. You're only 20 years old, but they never card you. You're not required to even have an ID anymore, right?
No.
Or do you need an ID?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the way I carry myself, but I don't get carded. Like, I don't know. But I know other people who are like 25.
But generally, you do need an ID to drink, correct?
But then I know some people who are like 25, 26, and they get carded all the time.
Andrea got carded the other day.
Yeah.
Andrea's in her low 30s, and she got carded.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Andrea.
I mean, it's simple. Third world countries have more secure elections than we do. It's not rocket science. If you have a state that doesn't require an ID to vote, you can have people vote, dead people vote, people that aren't citizens vote. You can vote numerous times. I mean, why do you think California gets 89% Democrat? You really think there's only 11% that are independent there or Republican? I mean, it's possible, but you have a lot of volatility there in our elections. I mean, I just have an ID. Wouldn't both sides want to make sure they're fair and free elections? I mean, why is it that one side is adamantly against showing an ID to vote? Why is that? You got to ask yourself.
Exactly. Do you like this little screen here?
Yeah.
Who puts this out?
Dan Bongino, former Secret Service agent for Barack Obama.
Rachel Maddow thinks that the end of democracy is near
because of
due
an
to the
election
Maricopa
audit.
County election audit. Do you believe that?
She's a bit out there. But I want to know why the border is so porous right now, and why Kamala Harris, who is the czar for immigration, refuses to visit the border. I just don't understand that. Like, there's kids down there that are in cages. I like to use that term because they used it for the previous administration, yet the media ignores it. Kids in cages don't apply to Joe Biden. Sleepy Joe gets a pass, while the orange man is bad.
So former White House advisor, Obama White House advisor, Seth Andrew, was arrested, accused of stealing from the charter school he founded.
Yeah, you know who his wife is?
No.
She works for, she works for CBS News.
Oh, Lena Zak?
Lena Zak.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just got drilled.
The husband of CBS News anchor Lena Zak is charged with wire fraud, money laundering, and making false statements to financial institutions, according to the U.S. Attorney General in the Southern District of New York. Seth Andrew will also worked in the education department. Is due to appear in Manhattan. Wow, that sucks.
The cages were built by Barack Obama. Somebody asked me that.
This is the whole thing is for $218,000.
Yeah, you know what? Did you have a link to that on CNN? No, I didn't see it on CNN. That's right. See, I'm just sick of this the bias. I'm on Twitter right now. It's a cesspool of just filth. And I'm not on Twitter personally, but once in a while I go on there for some financial stuff, and I'm just looking at it, and it's just nothing but a vacuum full of echo-chambered bots. I just don't understand what happened to the free speech. In fact, free speech is actually a target everywhere. Project Veritas is suing CNN and suing Twitter.
J.B. Ballin says, in Charlotte, North Carolina, all they asked me for was my name and my address. Now, let's think about what he's saying here.
J.B. Ballin could say, hey, I'm Jason Bartholomew, and I live in Raleigh, North Carolina. and I want to vote. And then he could go to Raleigh and say, hey, I'm Todd Ault, and I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, and I'm here to vote. What are they going to do?
But they have to look your name up on the registration
Okay,
list.
I can use a dead person's name that's on the voter roll that hasn't been cleared yet.
I know,
I'm
but
Mike
what's the-
Jones. I'm
what's-
still alive, but I died in
What's the
1989.
What's the likelihood, though, that people, hear me out for a second. What's the grand conspiracy that's happening on some large scale?
I can tell you for a fact, if you do the research, you have counties in the United States of America, not just like dozens of counties, and they have a registered voter rate that 120% of the total population of the county voted in the election. What's the likelihood of 120% of a county voting in an election? It's 0. Case closed.
Papa Gorilla says both parties follow the same agenda.
Yeah.
They try to blind us.
Papa Gorilla, they hate us, man. They hate your small business. You're an entrepreneur. They'd rather you live off the system. They'd rather you be a slave to the system. Yeah, Papa Gorilla, we need to get your food, man. We need to contribute to your small business.
This took
we love you, buddy.
This took a right turn today.
No, you wanted to get into it. Let's get into it.
Don't get all mad at me about it. I
Gavin-
didn't do it.
Gavin Newsom.
Dude, you're like mad at me about it. I'm
not
the one
mad.
that brought it up.
I'm fiery, man. I'm
Okay,
ready.
got
I'm ready
it.
to call these people out. I don't care what happens.
Let's go to back down to my my old home state. 1.6 million voters who signed a petition for the Republican-led recall effort have 30 business days to ask themselves the names removed. What does this mean? The ones they want to choose to put on the ballot?
Here's the news. Gavin Newsom is up for election in the fall. He's going to be, in my opinion, he's going to be challenged by Caitlyn Jenner. It's going to be in November. They qualified for a special election, and Gavin Newsom, all his policies and all of his COVID stuff will be at risk in November.
Could you imagine if he lost to Caitlyn Jenner?
He's going to lose to Caitlyn Jenner. You heard it here first. If Caitlyn runs, she will win. She will win. Watch. He's garbage, man. I don't even live in California. That guy's garbage.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you heard it here first. I heard Chamath was going to run for governor.
Chamath has been back and forth.
J.B. Ballin said that swear I could have taken a phone book with me.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, you're right, Dadura. This is a hot spot for me. You want to trigger me? Talk about all the crap that's going on here.
Wow.
Hey, listen, we got 3 minutes left. Hey, if you disagree with my ideology and what I think and my policies and what I believe in, I'd love to hear it. I'm open for true free speech. I will protect your right for free speech till the day I die. I don't care. That's what it is. Yeah. I don't want to silence anyone.
Oh, AOC doesn't believe in free speech.
I'll debate AOC right now. It doesn't
She
matter.
believes in no planes, no trains,
She's ridiculous.
no automobiles.
She wants to knock down buildings and rebuild them.
Better windows.
Yeah, while they fly privately to all these different events and fundraisers. The hypocrisy. Elizabeth Warren, same thing. But you know what? This is fun for dialogue. Todd doesn't agree with me all the time. I don't agree with him. But I support free speech. So if you're on the chat and you say, hey, Jason, you're absolutely too right-wing, you're too far out there, and you know what? I respect that.
Michael, I don't know what day he's coming on. We're setting up a time for him. We have got questions. Who did we get questions from? Who sent us questions for the CEO of Naked Brands?
We got Anna is the moderator from Telegram.
Anna, we're super grateful you sent us those questions. I do have confirmation that he has agreed to the interview to come on the podcast. I don't know what day it'll be. I think it's going to be from Australia.
Dude, how crazy is that? You got that done.
Pretty quickly, yeah. Well, I happen to know someone there. So hopefully that'll happen. Hey, stay tuned later on. Coming up this week on Autonomous. I don't know when it'll be out because it's going to be recorded. We're going to have one of the co-founders of Virgin Records on the show. We're also going to have Stormy Simon, who was the CEO of Overstock. She also was the CEO, I believe, of the Reefer Madness company that's been around a long time.
And
What's it called?
you know who brought
High Times.
Yeah,
High
High
Times,
Times. You know
right.
who brought her on was Patrick Byrne, a great American.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, text 949-799-1831. Type in merch, and we'll send you a free shirt. I want to give you the shirts. You got to go online and get it. We're not going to bother you with a bunch of texts. We're not going to drive you crazy. We're going to give you stuff and occasionally send you a text. And after you get it, I promise you, after you get the text, you get the free merch. If you don't like it, just I lack conviction of the market. I lack conviction. I think we're going to be in the doldrums of May and June. I'm very defensive on that front. I'm very happy where I am with what's happening with our own businesses, but I'm a little frustrated with the market. I appreciate everyone for watching and joining us. This is wonderful. Hey, stay tuned for us on 11:50 a.m. Los Angeles, Orange County. We are on the radio on the weekend. We are going to have some special guests starting to come up, so we do appreciate that. We'll talk to you about autonomous. If you type that same text number, ROS, Risk on Sports, you get Jason's picks for baseball with Gibson out, and he has a winning record, which is stellar. You literally are so transparent. Well, I'm grateful for that. We appreciate everyone here, Josh, Skyla. When did it go out? I guess there's no audio. I'm sorry. We love you. Have a good day. We'll see you tomorrow. All of you guys.
Bye.
We'll see you tomorrow. See ya. Take care, Skyla.
Oh, nice.